Thank you, Josh, for nominating me for the Ice Bucket Challenge. As you can see, I'm sitting here in front of one of my fermentation buckets, and I'd like to take a minute to talk about a few things before I go through with this. The first being that I think it's important that this type of research gets funded. And I think it's also important to realize that over the last several years, we have been underfunding the National Institutes of Health. They've gone from being able to fund 1 in 3 proposals to 1 in 6. And they've had their science and research budget cut by about 25%. They're just not able to do what they used to be able to do. And that hurts not only people with ALS, but lots of other diseases that aren't necessarily rare but don't get the fiscal attention that they deserve. In addition to that, public funding for public health has also been cut significantly. And with the problems of things like antibiotic-resistant bacteria and multi-drug-resistant TB and those things that are starting to become problems for us in addition to the developing world, it's really important that we put our money where our mouths are and start funding this type of research. Now, I am not going to dump 5 gallons of water on my head. So if I'm going to do this Ice Bucket Challenge, it would be as I was intended to do, with, instead of ice, rocks, and something better than water, Ishkavaha, or as the Gaelic say, the water of life. Now, there was a 24-hour time limit for my response, and I have exceeded that, so you'll get 2 takes. But for the first take, I will say sláinte, or to health. No. Now, God, that's good. I'm going to drink some more. As some people will expect, my Ice Bucket Challenge will not be poured, but shaken. And in here, we have the makings of my Vesper Martini. And while I'm shaking, I'm just going to remind us once again about how important it is to fund the NIH. One perfect example of this is the Human Genome Project. That small amount of government funding has led to tens of billions of revenue and technological advances. And we now know what the recipe is for the human genome. And as I promised, shaken, not poured.